let's see what happens when we mix these two elements together.
If you want to add a new animal to your system, you can do the following. We'll start with creating a name for this animal. Let's say Dante. You can then decide what animal type he is. Let's say a dog. If the animal type does not exist in this list, you can simply click on the Add a New Animal Type icon and create a new animal type. We can then also decide which breed this animal is, and once again, if the breed does not exist, you can simply click on the Add a New Breed icon. Let's say Dante is 3 years old. He is white and black. The size is medium. Temperament is friendly. We found him on the 21st of September. The location was Pretoria. His gender is male. He is not sterilized, nor is he microchipped. We can then say his food type is pedigree pellets, and food intake, let's say it's once daily. Then you have the option to provide a description if necessary. You also need to provide a picture for Dante. It will default on a dog. Once all the fields are filled in correctly and you're satisfied, you can now click on the Save button. Once the home visit has been completed, the results of this home visit can now be captured. You will select the home visit that has been done by clicking on the Search Home Visit icon. On the Home Visit search screen, you will have the option to select a search criteria, for instance, client, or you can simply just select the correct home visit. The second step will be to select the status of that home visit that has been done. You can either choose between unsuccessful or successful. You now have to provide a reason for that specific status that you have chosen. The final step will be to capture the actual checklist images that was used during the home visit. You can now click on the Scan or Browse icon. On this screen, you will have two options. You can either add the checklist by using the Scan button and scanning it from your printer, or you can use the Browse button. Once the image has been selected, you can add it. If the checklist was more than one page, you can follow the process again. Once all the images were selected, you can click on the Save button. If all the fields are filled in correctly, you can now click on the Add button. You will see that all the results that you have captured will be displayed on the right-hand side. You have the option to search any result that you wish. Or if you see that a result that has been captured is captured incorrectly, you have the option to change it. You can simply select the result that is incorrect and click on the View button. This will populate on the left-hand side all the information of that specific result. You can now, for instance, change the status to unsuccessful and click on the Save button. You will see that that result has now been successfully changed. If you want to sell stock, you can do the following. On the top left-hand corner, you will see a list of all the stock items that are available for selling, as well as the amounts that are available. You can select an item, and on the right-hand side, you will see its information being displayed. So, for instance, you can say you want to sell 10 items from the blankets category, and you can then click on the Add Basket. This will add the specific blankets item which you wanted to sell 10 of to the basket. You can now select another stock item, for instance dog food, and say you want to sell 20 items. You can then again click on the Add to Basket, and it will be listed in the basket below. You can then click on the Make Sale once you have filled your basket. If you want to place an order, you can do the following. You firstly need to select the order type. Will it be medication or stock? If you, for instance, choose stock, a list of all the stock items will be displayed on the left-hand side, which you can choose from. If you, for instance, see you're running low on dog food, you can, on the right-hand side, decide how many dog food you want to order. for instance 50. You also need to provide the unit price as well as the supplier from which you will be ordering. If the supplier is not in the list, you can simply click on the Create a New Supplier icon and create a new supplier. If all the fields are filled in correctly, you can click on the Add to Basket button. This will add the stock you wish to order in your basket. If you, for instance, say, okay, I'm running low on cat food as well and I want to order 20 more and the unit price is 20 Rand as well, you can add it to the basket. After all the items you wish to order is in the basket, you can click on the Place button. If you want to assign a procedure type to a specific animal, you can do the following. On the left-hand side, you will see a list of all the current animals. You have the option of choosing a specific search criteria, for instance, name, or simply just selecting the correct animal. Underneath the list, you will see the selected animal's information. On the right-hand side, you will see a list of all the procedure types that you may assign to your animal. If the procedure type that you wish to assign to your animal does not yet exist in this list, you can simply click on the Add Procedure Type icon. On the Add Procedure Type screen, you can now create a new procedure type. The first step will be to select the type, for instance, microchip. You can also create your own name for this specific procedure type. You then need to select the specific animal type, as well as its gender. You also need to provide the correct price. You then have the option to provide a description of this procedure type, but this is not necessary. If all fields are filled in correctly, you can click on the Add button. You will now see the created procedure type is in the list on the right hand side. You can now click. If your order has been delivered and you wish to capture it on the system, you can select the relevant order and it will take you to the Receive Orders screen. On the left hand side, a list of the components that make up that specific order will be shown. You can now choose between these items and indicate how many of those items you actually received. For instance, dog food, let's say you received all 50 items. You can then click on the Add to Stock button. It will then add it into the Receive basket. You can now proceed to the cat food. You can say that you received all 20 of the cat food items and also add it to the Receive basket. Once all the items has been accounted for, you can simply click on the Receive button. Once a client is interested in adopting an animal, you will have to schedule a home visit. The first step will be to select the employee that will do this home visit. You can now click on the Search Employee icon, which will take you to the Search Employee screen. You have now the option to select a search criteria, for instance, name. Or you can simply just select the correct employee. Step 2 will be to select the correct time that will fit both the employee as well as the client. The third step will be to select the date on which this home visit will take place. On the right-hand side, the selected employee's schedule for that date will be shown. The fourth step will be to select the relevant client. You can now click on the client icon. This search client screen is exactly the same as the search employee screen. You can now select the correct client. After you have filled in all the fields, you have now the option of ticking a box to send an SMS to the client as a notification. Once you are satisfied with all the fields, you can select the Save button, which will schedule this home visit. Once a home visit is successful, you can now capture the service. The first step will be to select the animal that the client wishes to adopt or foster. You can now click on the animal search icon. On the animal search screen, you have the option to select a search criteria, for instance, name. Or you can simply select the correct animal. The second step will be to select the correct service type. Will Uno be adopted or fostered? You then have to select the employee that has done or is doing the service. You can now click on the Search Employee icon. On the Search Employee screen, you can search for the specific employee or you can select the employee. You now have to select the date on which the service has taken place, as well as the date on which the client has signed the contract. You also have to select the relevant home visit. You can now click on the Search Home Visit icon. On the Search Home Visit results screen, you can search for a specific result or you can simply select the correct one. On the screen, all the successful home visits are displayed. You now also have to capture the contract that is signed by your client as well as the application for the service. You can now click on the Scan or Browse icon. On the screen you have two options. You can either scan the contract by using your printer or you can click on the Browse button. If the correct image was selected, you can add it. If the contract was more than one page, you can follow the process again. Once all the images are selected, you can click on the Save button. You have to do the same for the service application. Once you are satisfied with all the fields on the left-hand side, you can now click on the Save button, and this will save the service. Want to capture payments made by your client, you can do the following. You will need to select the client that has made a payment. You can click on the Search Client icon. On the Search Client screen, you have the option to search by specific search criteria, for instance, name. Or you can simply just select the correct client. You will also need to select a relevant service. You can click on the Search Service icon. On the Search Service screen, you yet again have the option to search by specific search criteria, or you can simply select the correct service. On the screen, all the services made by that specific client you have selected will be displayed. You can now select the correct service. You will also need to select the date on which the payment was made. You will see there's an amount due, which will indicate the amount that is still outstanding for the client, as well as a total paid, which will indicate the total amount paid by the client. If the client, for instance, has paid 50 Rand, the 50 Rand will be deducted from the amount due and will be added to the total paid. You have the option to send an SMS to the client to notify them of their amount due. If all the fields are filled incorrectly and you are satisfied, you can click on the Save button. On the right hand side, you yet again have the option to search by specific search criteria, or you can simply select the correct service from the list. If another payment was made by a specific client to a service, you can select the service from the list and click on the View button. It will populate the information of that selected service on the left hand side, and you can update the amount paid. If the client has paid another 50 Rand, the total will be 100 Rand and it will update the total paid. If everything is filled in correctly again, you can click on the Save button.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock.
Yeah.
You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you gon' find yourself.
Standing in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah,
and the world's gonna know your name.
yeah,
'Cause you burn with the brightest flame,
yeah,
and the world's gonna know your name.
yeah.
And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile, you can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you could get the gold. Breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try?
Do it for your country, do it for your name. 'Cause there's gonna be a day when